really enjoy that song. Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Battle Talk, a show where we talk about Blizzard stuff and take your live call-in questions and other Twitter questions and all that kind of fun stuff like that. I'm your host, Mike, aka Philodrin, and joining me this week is, once again, I'm just going to do this slightly reversed, Mr. Kiggles. Hi.
And we're gonna do Blizzard stuff, hey!
How are you, Kiggles?
I'm fine. Doing stuff and things and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not Blizzard, but I'm excited for Summer Split that starts on Tuesday. Anyway, go.
Anyway, next we have, joining us from, yes, wine, good. I'm gonna need some after this. Zista, from...
You look like a pumpkin, bitch.
That's a shitty pumpkin.
Those are really
It's the best
shitty
I could do on such short notice.
What
This is
the
terrible.
hell are you doing in a tree?
I climbed up in here. I was looking for honey,
He's got wood.
and I can't get out. If anybody has a chainsaw or a lumberjack saw that I can borrow,
Let's get him all out of the way
Tweet
right
me.
now. His bark is worse than his bite.
I see what you did down there. So,
about as funny as a screen door in a submarine.
screen door in the submarine, yeah. We had a break last week due to Mother's Day. I hope everybody enjoyed. But, we're back, and we would have spoken about this last week, but we weren't here. BlizzCon! Who's going? I'm sorry, Kiggles.
Giggles.
BlizzCon is again
I'll tweet you. I'll tweet you all about it, Giggles.
Don't. Okay, well, he's going that way. Wow, Shadow's gone and everything. BlizzCon is once again in November this year, the 7th and 8th. As we've raised our hands, this and I are both going, as are a lot of people from Game Breaker Nation. I haven't gotten a count yet. What are we, like 10 or 12 of us going?
At least. At the
Yay,
very
orgy.
minimum. So, I would like to make an official announcement. Following the... There's no official word of a Game Breaker party yet, but it's probably going to happen, we could all assume. Following the Game Breaker party will be Zisticon at Denny's. It's going to happen.
There's a block away from the Annabella Hotel, which is right near the convention center. There were a few... If you were with us there last year, you'll know what's going to happen.
Wait, this is just going to be piss-ass drunk? I heard he couldn't even pick up his head. He was so drunk last year.
No,
He was
see,
so-
what happened?
I heard you were stealing other people's drinks and drinking them.
No, food.
I heard
No, I was taking people's food, but the worst part was it wasn't our friends' food. It was food from random strangers at Denny's that I had no clue
Nice.
who they were.
Nice. Were you sick afterwards?
No.
And then he got up and he started seating people.
That's right.
Yes,
I
people were
forgot.
coming through the door. It was late. It was like what, 2, 3 in the morning, something like that.
Yep.
And they didn't have a lot of servers there. They only had 2 staff members at the time. So one guy was going around taking orders. The other guy's in the kitchen, and the guy in the kitchen was also acting as the busboy. His name was Christian, and our server was this guy Haas. And
Haas!
yeah, Haas, Haas.
Haas.
It's true.
So Haas was occupied, and Shafnit and Ashley, a bunch of people came in, and I walked over to the greeting booth, and I started pulling menus out, and I was like, right this way, I will seat you, and I sat them down, and then I go, I got this covered, Haas, and he goes, thank you very much, and yeah, I sat people that night. It was good times.
It was, yeah, but
So you're the hostess?
he's the hostess,
Hostess?
not with the mostess. No,
Host.
The hostess with the monster?
with the monster. Anyway, before we get into our news, that was some of our news. BlizzCon, people are going. It's happening this year. I've mentioned this is a call-in show, so I think we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name, tell us your question, and hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hello.
Just all of a sudden it unmutes. I'm like,
Goofy.
Hi, Goofy.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
I'm
Pretty
great.
good, and yourself?
I'm fine, thank you.
What time of day is it in Saudi Arabia right now?
It's 4:37 in the morning.
Are you out of
Oh.
your mind?
Kinda.
Aren't we all?
Perfect.
Uh,
What is your
Probably.
question?
I mean, I have to wake up like 2 hours before you guys start the show, so I can call in.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
So,
See, this is the kind of dedication we want from everyone else.
yeah, everybody
else.
else.
Is slacking.
Yeah,
You're all
slackers. Get on Goofy's level.
Get on Goofy. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Goofy, what's your
this
question?
guy said.
Yeah, get on my level. My question is, how did you came up with your nicknames? Like your internet nicknames?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Mine's short and
Well,
very...
well my story isn't interesting, so you guys tell yours.
All right, mine's quick and easy. I hit the random name generator and added a letter.
Villadra?
I forget if it was added a letter, changed a letter, or it was 2 letters, but I hit the random name generator, I go, that would be cool, and I just, changed the end of it.
I like
Philida?
it better if you were Philodrin with PH. Philodrin.
Yeah, I don't know,
Phil.
you and Shafnet would
Phil
like
from Staten Island.
Phil from
That was mine. That was.
That is a
there's
long-running
nothing-
joke back from After Dark.
Yeah.
Shafnet couldn't hear your name correctly and kept calling you Phil.
How many
That's
weeks I
awesome.
called in and he just kept calling me Phil. He still did it when I met him. The jerk.
All right, so am I really gonna have to tell it? All right, so this is kind of a long story.
Story time with Kiggles.
Right, so back when the internet was newish, and I was new to the internet I don't even know when, I was in grade school, and I used to have to go over to my grandma's house because we didn't have the internet. This was dial-up modems. This was 56K shit. I was part of. They used to have these like blogs, not blogs, but like sites where you would make up. It was kind of like Dragon Ball Z fan fiction. Yes. So, but the thing was, you would make up your own character, and it would be a part of the world in general, and then you would make up their story, and you would fight other people, and you would write the storyline for it, basically. And so,
I actually heard of this.
my character's name was Kin, Kin, as in like family Kin. And so when I started playing WoW, Kin was taken, so I put a G on it, and I became Kig. So then everything that yes, it was GeoCities actually. And then every one of my characters was like, so my original mage's name before it was Kiggles was Kigama because it's Kig, and then it was going to be a mage, but then I didn't. That would look stupid, so I just chopped off the G and the E, and then like Kigash is my shaman, and blah 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 blah. So then when I moved to my current server, which is Melganis, Kigama, I didn't like Kigama, so I changed it to Kiggles, and everyone just started calling me Kiggles. So that's my name.
Well, that was more entertaining than mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way more entertaining than mine.
Mine is a little bit along that line. This started back when I was doing backyard wrestling. Right, I was trying. Yeah. You laugh. We had 300 people at one of our backyard wrestling shows. We had them come from our high school. They came and they'd watch. We script them out. It wasn't like backyard wrestling where we beat the shit out of each other. It was actual like choreographed, like you would see on WWF or whatever.
I like to
I
call
went.
that ballet on testosterone is basically what pro wrestling is.
Yeah. I really don't watch wrestling anymore, but I went by the name The Anarchist. That was my thing. I had an Anarchy shirt. I came out, and my finishing move was I shot a can of brake cleaner through a lighter into somebody's face. Yeah. I'm not really the kind of guy that can like lift somebody up. Do you see how skinny these arms are? So
Why you drink Monster?
yeah, that was what my finishing move was. So when I played Star Wars Galaxies, that was my first MMO. I still went by the name The Anarchist, but I only had one character, and in that you could change your professions and stuff like that. So then when I came to Warcraft, my first character was a warlock who was named The Anarchist, and then I made a priest, which was named Xizor, Xizor from Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. And then when it came time to make a rogue, I had made a male rogue, and I just used a random name or something like that for him. And then I ended up not liking the male. I saw somebody in the starting zone doing a backflip for Eviscerate as the undead. And I was like, I can't do that, but I'm undead. And I learned because it was a female undead. So I was like level 8 at the time. I deleted my character. And then I made a female. And I was like, well, I don't know any good female names. So I'm trying to think. And I'm like, well, I'll take my priest name, XIZ, and I'll just take the first half of that. And then I'll take the abbreviation TA, which everybody was calling me. You know, instead of the anarchist, they were calling me TA. So I got Ziz and Ta, and there we go.
Wait, that was supposed to be a girl's name? You have a girl's name? Oh my god.
I guess. I don't know. My character was female.
I miss my old gnome mage because you had the Pippi Longstocking with the pink hair. The best gnome mages were the best.
Yeah, that was
Did Goofy's not on the line still, right?
I don't think so.
I want to find out how Goofy got his name. Can we get Goofy back real quick?
It's out of my hands.
You can type it out in chat.
He can talk it out in chat. He is here, and we can just read it. I mean, if you speaking of Gnome Mage, my Gnome Mage, which I made 2 weeks after the game came out, also random name generator, was Flanerseas. So I kept the name reserved on every server I play on just for the hell of it.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
Anyway, that was actually a good question.
I used to be the only Kiggles for a while, and then other people took my name. I used to be the only Kiggles in WoW.
I'm the only Philodrine in WoW. There is another one who was like a level 21 warrior for the longest time, and then one day he was 24, and then a few months later he was 27. Now I think he's 32 or 36 or something like that. He's
oh boy,
he's leveling. He's
up
making
there.
Progress. Not me though.
So
Anyway.
I know I keep telling this story, but whenever I create my Death Knight, which I haven't, and I've never had a Death Knight, and that's funny because that's like 3 expansions ago. The name is gonna be it's gonna be Death into Kig. That's the name.
That's awesome. I believe we have Goofy back on the line. Goofy, if you want to explain real quick how you got your name.
Sure thing if you're interested. Well, basically, I got the name Goofy from the character from Disney, Goofy, which is one of my favorite Disney characters. And the Spartan thing came out from God of War because Kratos is a Spartan, and I'm really interested in the Spartan history and all of these. In the history. Well, it's not really a great story. I mean,
Yeah, no, but it's still, that's where you got it from, so.
It's more interesting than mine. Random button.
yeah. Yeah. Also, it's kind of my brother helped me come up with it because I was pretty much going to name myself Goofy
So-
Slayer 2-1 something.
Was the Goofy, did you get that from like Kingdom Hearts or just Disney in general?
Just Disney in general.
Gotcha. Cool.
for me.
Well, thank you for calling.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thanks for the show. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you for calling.
Have fun at work, Goofy. You're gonna be dead tired, or school or whatever.
Okay, so yeah, we all have interesting name stories. So more in Blizzard news while we're here. Diablo 3, it is their 2nd anniversary this year, which came up as a surprise to me. I'm like, wow, this game's been out for 2 years. I guess it really
I know,
has.
right?
That it,
Yeah.
like it's been 2
It
years
feels-
since that abysmal launch.
It feels like it's
it
been
just
70.
launched.
No, it feels like
No,
it's
it feels
been
like it just
70
launched
years.
because I didn't play the game or have it in my mind when it actually, like, I played it the first week it came out and I hadn't touched it again. So
Really?
to me, the game just launched because now is the only time I care about it.
See, I probably
Yeah.
played it more than both of you combined.
You probably have.
Sure you did.
Before the patch and everyone saw the new hotness. Oh my god, look, Diablo 3 is awesome now. Let's all
But
play
I
it.
guarantee you, I played Diablo 1 more than you and Mike combined.
Well, I've never played Diablo 1, so that would be correct.
That would also
There we
be
go.
correct. I played through it once just for the hell of it.
I played the demo for Diablo 1 more than most people have played Diablo 1, 2, and 3 combined.
I don't know. I
I
played a
think-
lot. I played a lot of Diablo 2, I must tell you. I want my goddamn
They're
rune
like-
words, Blizzard. Give me my fucking rune words.
Because I never actually got the original Diablo until well after it launched. I had played the beta with my uncle. We'd connect on Battle.net and we would play, and I think we played for like 2 years on the demo, which only had 4 levels.
Oh, jeez.
So,
I
yeah.
remember when Battle.net came out during Warcraft 3. It was Warcraft 3, right?
US East, US West.
Oh my
I
god.
thought StarCraft had it too.
I believe it did, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it launched with Diablo.
I don't know when it launched. It was before my Blizzard time.
That was my favorite playing StarCraft on those Big Game Hunter?
Big Game
The Big Game Hunter
Hunters.
maps?
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Fond memories. Anyway, the big news about Diablo is second anniversary, and Blizzard's gift to the community during this happy time is a 100% increase to the drop rate of all legendary items, except for the ones gained by blood shards with Kadala and the gambling system. This bonus,
$1 bills, y'all.
the bonus to the drop rate is going to last until Thursday, May 22nd. Have you guys taken advantage of this? Either of you? I have.
Well, we have.
Yeah, we have.
I
Yeah.
have not.
I
Way
think
to
I've,
go,
I'm
Zista.
not.
I've
I'm sorry,
gotten-
I'm too busy with other shows that I've been working on, other projects, and
Yeah, how many? You have like
I can't put heroes down.
75,000 shows.
I can't put Heroes of the Storm down. And I still have to find time to play Hearthstone in between to make sure I still do my dailies in time. So
Yep.
We'll talk about heroes later, but that's
We'll
that's
get
that's
to
a waste
that.
of your time. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah. I think I have almost every set and legendary plan for crafting in the game because that's all that drops for me. I'm very sad.
well, the
about that.
the drop rate is, I mean, it's noticeable. I mean, with the few, I don't know, we played for like an hour or so. I mean, you got a legendary in a plan, and I got a legendary in a plan.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I got a chest
Yeah.
out of just a crate. You smashed a crate, and all of a sudden it's like ding,
Yeah,
like legendary. I'm like, really? Out of
that's
the crate?
best.
And
That's
I'm
awesome.
I'm using that chest now. It's awesome.
Playing
For,
with 2 wizards sucks. Oh my god.
especially yeah.
The
But
tank for that crap.
I'm
My
using that
torment
chest
yeah.
for fire because it get reduction in cost, arcane power cost for fire spells, and fire does like 20-something% more damage. So I like it. Anyway, we got another caller on the line. So I'm told. So caller, you are on the air. Tell us your name, question, and hi.
Hey, it's Kent Hills.
Hey.
So,
I'm surprised you're awake right now.
I know. How are you alive?
oh yeah, 6 hours of sleep after a 24-hour stream. Yeah,
How did
Good
that
question.
stream go?
it went amazing. 12 hours of Blizz Heroes. Switched over to WildStar, then went back to Blizz Heroes because I was falling asleep. And Blizzard and Heroes was probably the only thing that was keeping me awake.
Yeah, because it fuels your rage.
So, yeah. Actually, I think I had a lot more fun losing in that game than I've had in a long time.
Screw
So,
that.
anyways, question is, with the recent announcement to Blizzard Heroes with AFKers, people who leave, stuff like that, I just want to say, called it. 100% called it.
Everybody
What are your
called it.
thoughts?
It was kind of a guarantee. You had to have that in place. I think the big part was that they didn't feel it was necessary for an alpha. When you think alpha, like typically Blizzard alphas have been internal testing, and there is no need for them to program that at this point. But now that the alpha is public and it's out for people, they're running into the problems that they would in any typical public game, and it's kind of gotten to the point where there needs to be a system in place.
Well, let's be serious. It's an alpha in name only. It's basically a beta. I mean, it's done to the point where it's probably a beta. But one, good, because AFKers aren't really helping Blizzard out besides... Okay, this is my thing. Ready? This is not a done game. This is not a release full package. So I am only playing it to see if there's bugs, one, and just to do the daily quest, because I just don't see any point in playing it until they say, all right, it's done, it's out. This is the game. This is the game, and it's done. Because then I'll actually care about it. For now, it's if I want to play it with some friends and test it out and stuff, then fine, sure, I'll play it. That's fun, and I'll test out the different. Basically, I like support because I like support in League. But yeah, it's Blizzard should totally be doing this because they're not helping. They're not helping them test bugs, which is why you have alpha in the first place.
Exactly.
Right.
They're well, from playing the alpha, I got in day one. I was lucky. In those first couple of weeks, there were two names. I'm not gonna call them out here, but there were two people that became infamous for being toxic and rage quitting or staying in the game AFKing while just bitching the whole team out because things weren't going their way. I mean, they weren't even great players anyway, but yeah, two people became infamous in the entire community. As soon as you got into a game with them, like, everybody knew these two people. It's like, oh, great, so-and-so's in this game. This is going to be fun. We lose. But
Right.
there was no reporting system. There was nothing, so no punishment. So they were free to do as they please. So, yeah, the game needed it. And like Higgles was saying, a lot needs to be added in still. Custom games need to be re-enabled. They need spectator mode. I think a replay system would be pretty awesome. There's a lot of stuff they need. But, yeah,
Yep.
it's very smooth alpha. I like it.
It was.
I can't
It's
handle
been
solo queue,
pretty
though.
smooth.
Solo queue's rough. Can be.
Oh my god, I cannot handle it.
It's as bad as solo queue bronze in League.
I don't care. At least people are trying to win. Some people are just like, "La-di-da-di-da, la-da-da-da-da." And see, that's the thing. I know it's not. I shouldn't care about it because it's an alpha and stuff. But oh my god, it's so objective oriented. And if people don't help, it's just like I cannot do 1v5s to get freaking shrines so we can get the Dragon Knight. It's not gonna happen.
No?
Not gonna happen.
I don't know. I've run into some pretty good pug people that I found solo queuing, and
Well, those
there
are the
are
people
some
that you
people.
friend.
Right, there are some people that you friend them immediately, and they're like, "Hey, can you get into Skype with us?" And I'm like, "These are my new best friends. Let's
Yes,
queue up
those
all day
are-
long."
Those
Yeah.
are people. Those
So-
are people that are actually, communicating and stuff, which is kind of a big thing in MOBAs. I'm just gonna
It's
stip on that.
really big.
Especially this one.
It's more so key in this one because there is no vision. You need to communicate positions, more readily. There's multiple objectives on every map, and those objectives are key to winning. It's not just, get your carry fed beyond the other carry and destroy the other team. But,
Well, the team level is actually really interesting because you can either get really far ahead or really far behind.
yes. And that gives your whole team then, if you're really far behind. But, there's plenty of ways to come back if, say you had a bad start and you're evenly skilled. There's plenty of ways to come back. But there are those stomp fests, unfortunately.
Yep. We have some developer interview coming up, right?
Yes, I was going to mention that in the news after this, but this Tuesday, the 20th of May, at 11 a.m. PST, there's going to be the 5th Q&A session with the developers. They're going to be talking about the next major content patch. So,
Awesome. What do you guys expect out of that? Heroes, maps, anything like that?
no maps.
Probably no new maps, right?
No new maps. Probably going to hear more about the next heroes, Zagara and Murky.
Murky.
And
Yeah.
How
from
many,
there,
Seems
how many
really
heroes?
interesting.
So how many heroes have they said that are coming out
definitely
with the release?
they haven't.
They
Um,
haven't.
People
No,
are
they
thinking,
have
there's a lot of thought going into it. Like, Smite launched with 30. So look at that. I think Smite launched with 30. I'm not sure. Or they were gonna launch with 30. No, Smite did not launch with 30. That was the original plan, but then they changed that. Thank you, Justin. So, I mean, 50 would be a good number. 45 would be a good number. They said, I think one of the devs said in a tweet or something that they have, on paper, I think they have hundreds on paper that they can potentially put into the game.
Well, I'm
So-
assuming they're going to release after. I mean, they're not going to put all of them in there, and they're going to.
Oh, no, of course not.
We've seen some previews on things like Thrall and the Butcher from Diablo, and there's a list of, I think, like 12 or so that are data mined but are not in the game right now. So there's still a bit.
Thrall is... they're not confirmed, but I mean... the artwork for Sylvanas, they showed off Chen, they showed off, and Kael'thas, so they're pretty much confirmed. Jaina and Thrall are almost definites. Asmodan, I think they said was... someone mentioned might have been a definite. So...
yeah.
And then the Butcher. We got some good stuff coming.
Yep.
But anyway, we have another caller. So, next caller, you're on the line. Tell us your name, your question, and hi. I almost forgot. I was going to say, tell us where you're from.
It's me, your boss,
Hi.
Oh,
Justin
You're not my
Kennedy.
boss.
You're not his boss.
I'm
hello,
theirs.
Justin.
You don't
Justin, where
own
were
me.
you? What? You missed the meeting today.
Yeah.
boss.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
My grandma's 90th birthday.
Oh, well, happy
Squirrely.
birthday to your grandmother.
I'll
All right,
take
well, first
that
thing I wanna
as a
say-
valid excuse.
Before I ask my question, I have to understand. I guess Zista, while I'm asking this question, I guess you can search your hole for some nuts. But I have some questions for you right now. First off, Can't Heal stole my question. A little annoying stuff. I was going to ask you all about the whole banning thing and if you think that this huffing and puffing is real or just an empty threat to try and scare the jerks.
Well, I've seen some bots in there. I have seen bots in Heroes. Believe it or not, I've seen them, and all they do. The only map that I've seen it on so far is the doubloons map, and the character was running straight through to a point where the enemy's base was, and if the wall still existed, they would just keep running nonstop into the wall until the cannons killed them. But then when the wall eventually went down, they would run and sit by their night camp, and they would just stay there AFK until they died.
That's not a
So
bot.
it's a
I think
very-
that's someone being an ass.
No, it was a
Yeah.
bot. Believe me, it was a bot.
But I have a different question. So you already answered his and talked about this, whatever. Here's my new question to you. What do you think of the matchmaking in Heroes of the Storm, which oftentimes will not give you a healing support, but the enemy has two of them?
Ooh.
It needs work. I mean,
Didn't we just play a game like that last night, Justin?
Possibly.
I believe it was 3 DPS. No, it was 3 tanks and 2 DPS.
that happens more often than it should. See, the problem is you pick your hero before it matchmakes you, which is totally different than pretty much every other MOBA out there. But the thing is, one, it's a small player base right now, very small pool. So I don't know if their matchmaking system is in full swing. I think they just have it like, I think I've heard somewhere that they have it try to match pre-made 5s up with other pre-made 5s first, and then just get games together. I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to what the roles are yet, because yeah, some games you'll see. I had one game that was 4 tanks and a DPS. Yeah, I mean,
I
that
bet
just
you
doesn't...
lost that.
No, we won because their team was 3 specialists, a DPS, and a tank. So, it was a very bad Abathur and a very bad Gazlo. So
Oh my god,
we were
I
able
hate
to capitalize.
Abathur. I have never met a good Abathur in my life.
I know a couple good ones.
You've obviously never played
That's
with
because you
Justin
haven't played
before
with
then.
me.
They don't exist. Abathur is the stupidest champion in the world.
I know, yes, I agree with you there, but I know a couple of very good Abathurs, but I was giving some of this example earlier. Right now, Abathur's in a weird place because pre-level 10, you're down a body in all team fights, and for objectives, and then he can only really interact with objectives when he uses his ultimate, which is not really the ideal use for that ultimate. So it's kind of it's a weird spot right now. I've seen, like I said, I know a couple of fantastic Abathurs that I play with, and even with them and a very well-coordinated team, we still lose pretty horribly.
Yeah.
But
So,
back to Justin's question though, like, do you think the game needs to match up to get like a tank, healer? What do you think that's necessary for them to do for ranked play or whatever?
for rank, see, we don't know. There's no defined meta right now, and with 4 different maps, it's going to be difficult. But it should try to balance it out more than let's give them 3 of one role and 2 of another. It should. I mean, right now 2 supports is a very powerful build, regardless of what the rest of your team looks like. So it needs some thought put into it. That's for the question.
I would assume
Yeah.
it would depend on the map.
Yeah, it would also depend on the map there as well.
It'd be interesting to figure out how they would work that out logistically, because they set your team up and then they randomly choose the map, so they'd have to come up with something in the back end, which probably couldn't be too difficult to select the map first and then your team.
Yeah. Ranked play will likely see, I think, maps. I think they said this, or it's assumed that we'll see maps picked before you pick your heroes.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Well, they do that they do it for StarCraft.
yeah, exactly. So, we just got to see what comes in the future. This is still alpha. It's not even beta yet.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, once you get a bigger population of people who are playing it, once you get a bigger player base, it shouldn't really be a problem at all. It honestly should not.
No, it definitely shouldn't. But, yeah. So, anyway, thank you for that question, Justin. Justin. I can't speak
Justin?
tonight. Justin. Hello, Justin. Ah.
Mhm.
So we're gonna we'll move on to our next bit of news in a moment. Right now, we have a couple Twitter questions. One of which is WoW related. So I'm gonna get to that first, real quick. Rachel, aka Savannah17, says, "What is your advice to someone trying to get back into raiding after a long vacation from it?"
Don't do it. It's a trap.
That's a good question.
It's a tarp.
It's a tarp.
That is a good question, because it's something that I kind of want to do.
Yeah, me too. Like,
I would love to get a garrosh kill credit on normal before the mount goes away.
as would I.
I still have not done that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Still haven't gotten the normal kill on Garage. My raid team disbanded.
I got one normal kill in Siege of Orgrimmar, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah, I had no normal modes. I haven't run normal modes since the second week after Throne of Thunder came out.
All right. Well, I'm going to
So-
answer the question. So here's the answer. Ready? 1, you have friends carry you, or you know people and they carry you, which probably is not going to happen. But advice is, I mean, it's just knowing good rating, knowing the basics of rating. Ready? The basics of rating. 1, half of the rating starts before rating even starts. So you get all your shit ready. You get all that enchanted and gemmed correctly, and I know all that stuff's going away, but it's still here, so we still have to take care of that. Having potions and food stuffs, if that's not provided by the raid. Being there on time. I don't know how many times we have had to wait for... I hate waiting for late people, okay? If the time you're starting is, 7 PST, then you get there at 6:55 PST at the latest. At the latest. That means you are in the zone or by the entrance to the zone ready to fucking go, okay? Because this is what raid leaders look at. They look at, 1, do they know what the hell they're doing? Okay, first of all, 1, do they know what the hell they're doing? And 2, are they there on time and ready? Because you can get away with, being a little late for 2 if you're really good at 1, but if you're not really good at 1, you better be on time, ready to go, and know your shit. So that's what I have to say.
As a former raid leader, I valued people who were on time and prepared more than I valued, raw skill and, what they contributed to the raid. I've had headaches. I mean, I ran a 10-man normal all through Mists up until, like I said, the second week of Throne of Thunder. And before, the month leading up to that, we were plagued with inconsistent... Some nights we just didn't run because only 7 people would show up. Other nights I had 16 people to choose from.
Yeah.
And, Flex would have solved that problem easy, but it was a nightmare. So... And, the inconsistency, 1 week we annihilated Jinrock, first boss of Throne of Thunder. It's all we had time for after clearing the other stuff. And then the next week, we smashed our face at it for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah. And were you rating 25-man or 10-man?
10.
And then when you got to Horadon, that was a huge...
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It was
Don't even talk to me
punch
about
in the
10-man Horadon.
teeth.
I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, we were stuck on that.
We all experienced.
want to talk.
We all experienced it.
So,
But yeah, the other thing is you cannot expect to be on a break, whatever, and then just apply to like a heroic level guild and get in and get everything done in a week. It doesn't work that way. You have to work your way up. Unfortunately, you gotta start with like LFR. You gotta work your way up to flex. You gotta go through normal. I mean, you can go from LFR to normal, but most people now, they don't look for that. They want you to have the better gear, so you have to get the stuff out of flex.
Right? It's like,
to
okay,
get
so
the
what's a
normal
long,
into heroic.
right? What's a long vacation? The thing is, okay, here's my biggest pet peeve as someone who's raided since vanilla. Ready? It's people who think that you get all of your gear, all of your upgrades out of the raid. That's the only place that you can get gear, and there's no other place for you to get upgrades. There are multitudes of places to get upgrades now in WoW specifically, okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you do not know what your upgrades are and how even going from like a looking for raid piece to a flex piece, weapons and trinkets specifically, then why are you even and you think that you're entitled to this piece? No. Raid leaders, especially if there's loot council, are going to look at, are you constantly trying to make your character better?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that they will look at. And if you are just logging in for raid to come and then you're bitching about gear, I would say don't ask to be invited. You're not going to be in that raid for very long.
What he said.
Yep.
Another quick addendum to what Kiggle said: show up prepared, and part of being prepared, know your class, know your rotation.
Know the encounters.
Know the encounters is actually very important. Even if you don't have time to watch videos of, there's hundreds of thousands of videos out there to watch on every boss encounter, but read the dungeon journal, study it, read every ability, everything this thing does. I mean, that's what I do going into a fight.
Especially upcoming in Warlords of Draenor, they just released a whole thing about how they are revamping the dungeon journal. So it's going to be even more vital for you to read next, expansion, next patch, whatever it makes it into. It's going to basically give you an overview of the fight in the dungeon journal. It's not just going to be the abilities list anymore. It's going to be an overview.
Right.
So.
And the thing is if you're like me and you hate the dungeon journal and you're not really, I mean, I'm more of an experiential learner in the first place. And healing, I really don't need to know all of that stuff unless I need to know if I have to dispel or all that stuff. But like even doing flex helps a ton. Just running it once, knowing because flex is actually good to where all of the abilities are there. It's just not going to be as painful. So if you know what you're doing in flex, then you're going to know what you're doing in normals. That's basically all there is. And looking for raid is just going to be face rolling material if you have people with a brain in there.
Yeah, flex is probably my favorite thing they've added this whole
Yes,
expansion.
it was. Flex is amazing, and I thank
great.
Blizzard for adding that. It's an amazing tool.
Very amazing tool. But
Mike,
me.
you you left one of your lemonades in my tree.
Okay then.
Oh my god.
Great question, Rachel. I mean, we could probably talk about that question alone for the rest of the show.
Okay, wait. I just want to say one more thing.
Go for it.
Goofy says he does 1.5 million DPS, which is fine, and he doesn't win loot. All right, here's the thing. If you're in a regular raiding group, then you are not in it for the short-term gain. It's the long-term. You're a group. You're working together. As long as people aren't loot whoring, and that should be something that the raid leader moderates. Because I mean, I personally, the people who I raid with, I've been raiding with for years, and so we try and divvy out. I mean, the tanks and the healers get gear that they need because they're basically holding. They're the ones that have to do the heavy lifting, especially the tanks, and then we'll try and divvy out gear as much as possible. But the thing is that gear in WoW isn't really hard to get now. It really isn't. It's just those little. It's just everyone is fighting over weapons, and trinkets, and tier pieces. Those are the 3 things that everyone wants that multiple classes and specs can use. So what I would say is, if you're not getting any loot at all, then that's something you should bring up to your raid leader, and if you're, and they should be regulating that stuff. That's not right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, it sounds like you're using a guild or something that has random roll or whatever for your loot. That's just my assumption. If that's not the case, yeah, definitely talk to your raid leader. But may also be time to look for a new guild. Like, you may be looking for a guild that still uses DKP or something like that. I know my guild, Months Behind, switched from DKP back in like vanilla, or maybe it was the middle of BC or whatever, to Master Loot, and it's worked really well. And we have a loot council of sorts. We have a DPS role, a healer role, a melee DPS role, and a tank role, as well as the guild leader. Will sit in the council or in the raid leader, whatever. It's an odd number. We make sure it's an odd number of people, and they all decide as a group who specific item should go to, and it's DPS, attendance, all kinds of stuff like that is factored into whether or not you get it. How much gear you've gotten is factored in. If somebody has gotten 3 pieces, we're not going to give them a 4th, whatever. So it's you may need to look into a new raiding guild.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, for example, our 10-man that we used to run with in Wrath of the Lich King, all 10 of us had an input on loot. And there was never a single conflict over the entire expansion. So, I mean, it worked. I mean, that group was great. I miss all of those. I went to one of their weddings over the summer. I mean, it's great. So if you can get back into raiding and find one of those cohesive groups, become friends with them and everything like that, you start to predict each other's motions in games. It's terrifying, actually. But, anyway, more Twitter questions that we got to get to here. So, thank you, Sev. Like I said, we could talk all night about this. Our next question comes from Ixter, also known as @thatixter. That's redundant.
Oh, that Ixter. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Not the other one.
Ixter.
It's the other Ixter.
oh my god, that Ixter? Oh, I thought it was the other one.
So, this is not Blizzard related, but it's a kind of a big deal for the gaming world right now. So, sources are saying that YouTube will be acquiring Twitch for $1 billion. Thoughts?
$1 billion. Bye-bye, Twitch. See ya.
Here's my first thought. Twitch chat is about to take a gigantic nosedive into a shit pile, because YouTube's chat for their live stuff is horrifying.
It is. But it depends on the route that they take it. Because you've had companies like Facebook has purchased WhatsApp, they've purchased Instagram. The programs have remained relatively the same. I personally don't use them, but they're the same. They have not made any major changes to it. So if Google is acquiring it for the monetary purpose, we'll probably not see many changes. Unfortunately, the one big change that I do see is people streaming music. Because we already know that is a huge issue on YouTube. So I can see problems coming to Twitch with that.
I can see it being like adding it to your Google. Like, now your Google information, you can now log into, YouTube and G Plus, whatever that, I don't even use Google Plus. Who uses Google Plus? No one. And Twitch. So that's what's going to happen. It's all going to become, interlinked and stuff. I don't really think it's going to change it. But $1 billion for Twitch, and it still has some growing to do. Like, people make some money on there, dude. Like, they make some money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. If they don't change anything, really, I mean, Twitch, I like Twitch a lot. So, I don't know. I just got to keep a watch on it and see where this goes, because this is interesting news. One company buying another. People who made Twitch are happy.
Probably.
I would be, yeah.
But that seems like a steal. $1 billion. It seems like Twitch is worth way more than $1 billion.
You never know. I honestly don't know. But yeah. Got a bit more news to get into, though. WoW, World of Warcraft. I'm just gonna give a quick couple things here. If you guys want to comment on them, go for it. The Warlords of Draenor Alpha was partially delayed. It was stated that this delay is due to the flow of questing needs to be smoothed out in Warlords before the player base gets to it. I'm thinking due to the garrisons being integrated into the quest experience now.
Yeah,
So-
they commented on it, and they said that it is part of the reason, but it's not the only reason. So, the big holdup is not entirely Garrison's fault. So don't start blaming Garrisons and get
I'm not
mad at
blaming.
Garrisons. No, not you. I'm saying everybody, the general public.
But I'm commenting.
Blizzard public. But yeah, they said that there's a few tweaks that they're doing to zones and stuff like that. So
My thing is, I think they realized they launched a pristine alpha with Heroes of the Storm. Like, as far as alphas go, that game was just majestic. So now I think they're trying to make Warlords just as majestic in its alpha stage. I mean, alpha's alpha. Alpha's supposed to be a piece of crap to make sure the tech works, so...
yeah, the internal alpha, it's still going strong. It's still doing well. There are a very select few. The Friends and Family alpha is very, very minor at this point right now. There's not a lot of people in it.
The FAF.
The FAF.
Yes, the FAF.
The FAFA.
So, just because Heroes is an alpha and everybody's in Heroes, don't start expecting all of a sudden Blizzard is going to open up all their alphas to the public. It's not going to work like that.
Nope.
Well, I mean, it's different because
It's-
they already know the server load on
yes.
World of Warcraft. It's
Right.
the fact that MOBAs. Anyway,
Completely different ballgame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Heroes has so much other tech to test. But new news also. New patch in WoW is coming out soon. TM. In this next patch, players will earn double Valor points until Warlords releases. There will be an item on the Timeless Isle. You can pay 3,000 Timeless coins and get a token that gives you 100 Valor points. This will not let you circumvent the Valor cap for the week, unfortunately.
ooh,
Also, all items with the item upgrade system, you can now upgrade everything 2 more times, for a total of 4 times for 16 eye levels
Wow.
with Valor points.
so heroic shit is gonna just be face roll.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be face roll content with all that quadruply upgraded heroic gear.
So just a couple little addendums to this. Your legendary cloak, you'll have to manually upgrade the 2 more eye levels, which would make it an eye level 616,
Nice.
which is ridiculous. And heirlooms, all Garrosh dropped heirlooms, will be getting an 8 item level boost for free.
Ooh. For
So
free.
yeah, they're
Nice.
just getting boosted 8 eye levels. That's at least what I read.
So are they okay? Sorry.
No, that's
Are you
I would say two new mounts. The Grinning Reaver and the Nightmarish Hitching Post, which if you touch it and you're in the party with that person, your mount will turn into a Warforged Nightmare, which is a fiery horse. And that's all the WoW news.
We don't have any methods of how to acquire these yet, right?
No, there's no method yet, no mention. So anyway,
The
Giggles.
Grinning Reaver looks like a what are they? Are they just Reavers? Is that what they're called?
I guess.
They were in Burning Crusade.
Mm-hmm.
When you go through the portal in the Briar that leads into
Yes. Those
uh,
things.
not
Terracar.
Zangarmarsh, Terracar Forest. It looks like one of those with a saddle on it. So, but it's a ground mount. That's the interesting thing. It's a ground mount. It's the first time we've gotten a new ground mount in a while, and the other one is a ground mount as well. But it looks like a cosmetic change. Usually, you would expect something like that out of the trading card game,
I just want to
but they
comment.
canceled the trading card game.
Yeah, I want to comment on something in chat here. They're asking when the raid nerfs are coming. It's believed that these boosts to Valor points and the extra item upgrades are their ways of nerfing the raids by making you more powerful,
Yeah, that makes sense.
instead of actually
So,
nerfing the raids themselves.
Is next patch, is this patch that's coming up, is that the patch that they're removing the garage mount and the challenge modes?
I don't
No,
believe so.
I would assume that they aren't gonna do it until the beginning of next expansion.
6.0 or with the pre-Warlord. They said it's going to be the pre-Warlords patch because Warlords is going to change around the classes and stuff in such a way that would make
Will die.
challenge modes completely not feasible
Right, all the
anymore.
new mechanics and stuff
All
like
the new
that. Because I still need
mechanics.
to do challenge modes. I at least need to get my silvers. I want the Phoenix mounts, and
So
that's
do
got to
I.
happen. We got to make this happen.
Do gotta
Are
make that
they
happen.
so okay? So with I know this probably has been answered before, but with the item squish or with the stat squish, are they squishing item levels too, or are they going to be like? Are there going to be like? Or it really doesn't matter, does it? Does
No,
it really? Am I? They're not going back. They're still going to be. So they're going to be like eye level 600, but they're still going to be like relatively
Probably.
more
For the-
powerful.
For the time being, I don't think they
That
need
was
any
that was
to
a smarter
squish the eye
question. No,
levels.
that was, don't even answer. That was a smarter question in my head than it came.
Yeah, it's no the
Don't worry
squish
about it.
It's something that will probably have to be addressed at some point, maybe
Eventually.
2 expansions from now. But I don't think it has to be done for this one.
No, right now I think the item squish is good as it is. I think right now
We're up to level what? What did you say that Cloak was going to go up to?
616. And then what is
I'd
heroic?
be surprised if we don't hit 1,000 in the next expansion.
Yeah, what's heroic out of the gate? Like when you get a heroic item, it was like 560, 571. I think.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but that's would make with the upgrades it would make it 587. Oh God,
Right.
it's obscene.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna get close to hitting 1,000.
1,000.
If we don't hit 1,000 next expansion by the final tier, we're gonna be really close.
Yeah. Crazy. Anyway, more Twitter questions because we really don't have any more callers right now, but that's okay. So we have
You
a
guys
tweet.
call in.
Yes, you
call
can call
in
in
live.
now. It's not like After Dark where you got to call in beforehand. You can call in now live, and we will get you on here. So if you'd like to do that, go for
GBN
it.
live on Skype.
GBN live on Skype. Anyway, another Twitter question. This one is from Goofy Spartan, who called in already. He asks, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Correct answer is if a woodchuck could chuck wood, it would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could. Next question.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck Norris?
Thank you for the answer to that burning question.
You're welcome. Anyway, next Twitter question from @TotalDeletion. What are some tips for us first-time BlizzCon folks? I fear the con funk. The BlizzCon
Don't share
blight.
cups. No sharing.
We'll
of
let
cups.
Kiggle start.
I've never
Kiggle's
been,
a start.
but
He's
I'm
got-
assuming
he's got
it's
so
just,
much BlizzCon experience.
I'm assuming it's just basic personal hygiene things that you don't share cups. Don't make out with anyone that you can't see their face because they're in cosplay or whatever. Don't make out with Zista because Zista has killed his immune system with all of the monster. So he's probably got so many super bugs in him.
Have you ever seen me sick, Kiggles?
He's hosting many plagues.
You could just be a carrier. They could be inert in you, and you could just give them to everyone. You could
the
really.
Monster wipes out all disease in my system.
God bless you for thinking that.
Yes, I agree. So, just a couple notes. I've been to BlizzCon twice now.
Snaps for you, yay!
No, I'm just saying.
This will be your third time?
This will be my third time coming up.
Wow.
Hand sanitizer. When I went in 2009, a part of the goodie bag was a small bottle of BlizzCon hand sanitizer. So, get a small thing with you. If you can't, get it on the plane with you for whatever reason, get it when you get to California. Carry it with you. Use it every time you play on, because they have the computer set up to play all their games there. Use it every time you do that. Just be smart, basically. Now, understand how disease spreads and don't do it. I mean, I was very careful, and both I and my wife got the con crud when we got home. So,
Well, the thing is, you're with that many different people and that many new people. Chances are you're going to get something. The thing is, okay, here's the two biggest things for being away from home for a rather long time. What you want to do is, one, you want to get sleep, which I know a lot of people don't do at BlizzCon at all. And two, you want to drink water. You want to drink water. Water and sleep will help you immensely. and eating correctly.
Yeah, eating correctly, which I don't know, is is,
Chicken. Yeah, you gotta get that chicken
is extremely.
I'm not even kidding.
and the
I had
vegetables.
chicken for every meal
He
the
did.
entire time I was in California.
He really did. And I gotta say, we drank a lot at the Game Breaker party last year.
Yeah, drinking a lot doesn't, unless you're like me and you drink regularly, so you build up a tolerance.
For those of you that do not drink regularly, you are going to be caught up in the party that is BlizzCon, and there will be a lot of drinking going on.
Lots of
So
alcohol.
those of you that are not used to it, what you need to do is you need to put food in your stomach.
I will.
You have to have it soak up all the alcohol and whatnot. The greasier, the better.
For example, we got wasted at the Game Breaker party. Most of us went to the unofficial, unnamed Zistacon at Denny's that night. Me personally, I drank more than I have since college, and I got an order of nachos and the greasiest cheese fries I've ever had in my life. I woke up the next morning after 6 hours of sleep feeling amazing.
Yes.
No headache, no hangover symptoms, no nothing. I felt great the next morning. And as a funny note, out of our group, the two people who didn't go to Denny's were sitting there in the opening ceremony like dying from hangover headaches.
Yes.
Actually,
Yep.
it doesn't
Do
mean
not
that you
go
have
to
to
sleep.
It does not mean that you have to drink more. You eat your greasy food after you stop drinking and before you go to bed. But you also drink water before you go to bed. You drink
Yes.
water. If I got really drunk, I usually try to drink water and take a ibuprofen or something before I go to bed. But the thing is, okay, here's the thing. People don't understand. It's not the alcohol itself that gets you hungover. It's the sugar in the alcohol. So if you drink really sugary drinks, you are going to have a giant splitting headache because of the lack of water if you do not drink water. So you must drink water before you go to bed. It will lessen the blow.
Yep. Drink water, because dehydration is a bitch. So those are some...
And you can there are plenty of places to walk to. So
Oh, yeah.
do not drive,
There is
especially if you've been drinking.
there is food and everything you need within a couple block
There-
radius.
Within a block of the convention center is an IHOP and a Denny's.
Right.
Right, they're in the opposite direction of each other, and there's many other stuff along the way, but they're two of the bigger ones. And you can go in, grab a quick bite, whatever, be out about 45 minutes and get back to the convention center. So even if not for drinking, but if you're looking for a quick meal that you're not paying ridiculous prices at the convention center for, like a $9 slice of pizza, you can go to Denny's or IHOP. It's relatively close.
Yeah, we went to Denny's twice. It was our savior that weekend. So,
Yep.
all right, I got one more Twitter question here before we get into the last bits of our news. Also from Mr. Total Deletion, who is handling all of our live call-in tonight. The three callers we had. So give him a round of applause. Anyway, have you had a chance to read War Crimes yet? No, I have not. If so, your thoughts. Warn us before spoilers. Sorry. Haven't gotten it yet. Gentlemen?
No, I've not.
Sorry, Total.
I still have Storm Rage. I haven't read that yet.
I haven't had a
Who
chance.
reads? Oh my god.
Yeah. The only book on my
Reading is for
radar.
fags.
The only book I will drop everything
How
to
much have you read then,
is-
Kiggles?
I read tons.
Oh. When the next Game of Thrones book comes out, Winds of Winter. Then I will drop everything to get a book and read.
Quins of Winter.
The Winds of Winter.
Speaking of which,
The Quins of
did you
Winter.
watch Game of Thrones tonight?
No, Dom, I did not watch Game of Thrones tonight because I was on Skype with you for the half hour before it, a half hour after it, and this current hour and a half after it.
Perfect.
So I'm going to be doing that
My
either
God.
tomorrow
Don't
morning.
get Phil
or tonight.
angry. We're almost done.
We're almost done. Don't get me angry. I'm not
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Kiggles. I'm supposed to get angry.
I ain't even mad.
I don't watch Game of Thrones, so whatever.
That's okay.
You look like a pumpkin, bitch.
That does not look like a very good pumpkin. Looks
All right,
more like
we're
a
quickly
Well,
devolving. Please get to the last news.
the last
We
bit
need
of
to get through
news.
this.
Hearthstone. Oh wait, StarCraft 2. News in StarCraft 2. There is no news. Hearthstone.
Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares?
Nerdstone.
We got to the point of where we were writing show notes, and Mike goes, StarCraft 2, and Kiggles literally goes, who cares? We moved on to the next thing.
Yep.
We
Hearthstone.
will cover StarCraft 2 when there's stuff to cover, though.
Hearthstone. There's a new Naxxramas card announced, the Anuba Ambusher.
Mm.
It is a 4/4, I believe. I forget how much mana, and when
It is a 5/5.
Oh, it is
for
a
4 mana.
Okay, I got that
Yeah,
backwards.
it's a 5/5 for 4 mana. However, the death rattle on it is it returns a friendly minion to your hand.
It's
I
and it's
don't
at
know how I
random.
feel about that. Yeah, it's a random friendly minion, and that's on any turn, regardless of when it dies. If it dies when you're playing or when your opponent's playing.
It's from the graveyard? From graveyard
No.
to hand or
No,
from
just
field
from
to
field
hand?
to hand.
So then
There
put
is
it
no
out-
graveyard.
Put it out by itself. Whatever.
Yeah.
It says, now here's the question. Say you have 3 minions on the field. This and 2 others, whatever. And your opponent mage drops a flame strike on your head. Does this trigger before the other 2 minions are destroyed?
If it was to drop a flame strike, it would only deal 4 damage to it, and it would still be alive as a 5/1.
If it was to drop a flame strike, if it was to drop a board clear that would kill every one of your 3 minions, because this thing had 1 health left, would it die first and its effect trigger, or how would that work?
It would not trigger itself. No.
I'm gonna see.
No, and
how
if
that
there's
card
nothing else
works.
on the board, it's obviously not going to
No.
trigger.
If there's 2 other cards on the board, will it save one
It'll
of
pick
them?
one.
It'll pick one of them up before they get destroyed.
No, if they all die in the flame strike, they're all dead.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Poop.
So
All right. Well, you know what?
I don't know how I
It'll-
feel about this card. I've so far I've liked every other card that they've released for Naxxramas. But this is the rogue specific card. When you complete the rogue challenge in Nax, this is the card you'll be rewarded with. I don't like it. It's the only card so far. The other cards we've had were what? Dancing Swords, the Death Rattle. Your opponent draws a card, but it's a 3 mana for it's a 3 mana. It's a 4/4. Like obviously, I don't like things that give your opponent cards or whatever, but it's still not a bad card especially for 3 mana. The Undertaker, which every time you summon a minion with Death Rattle, you gain +1/+1. It seems like the overall theme of this Nax deck is there's a lot of cards with Death Rattle. So, the Undertaker seems like a really good card. It's a 1 mana. It starts out as a 1/2. So on
Right.
turn 1, if you start pumping out Death Rattle cards, the thing's going to grow really big, really quickly and get out of hand. There's the Nerubian Egg, which is for 2 mana. It's a 0/2. With its Death Rattle effect, is it summons a 4/4 Nerubian. So this card right there, the Nerubian Egg, is a perfect answer for Hunter's Explosive Trap and stuff like that. When you know they have a secret up that's going to wipe your board, you drop the Nerubian Egg, you ram your guy into the Hunter, triggers it, it kills the egg, and now you have a 4/4 on the board instead of nothing. So it's a perfect answer to Hunters. You have the Shaded Naxxramas for 3 mana. It's a 2/2. At the start of your turn, you gain +1/+1. Stealth. Like, you can let the thing sit there or whatever, but how long do you go past turn 10? So just keeping the thing in stealth the whole time, it's probably not your best strategy. It's probably best to use it, and it's still going to grow, kind of like Gruul. Baron Rivendare is the first legendary that they announced. All your minions trigger Death Rattle twice, so especially with all these Death Rattle cards, it's going to be epic. So when you summon, like, the Nerubian Egg, for example, if you have Baron Rivendare down, who's a 1/7, and you know, let's say you're on turn 6, right? You know your opponent has the Explosive Trap, your Hunter, your opponent. You drop Baron Rivendare for 4 mana. You drop your Nerubian Egg for 2 mana. You wipe the thing. You're still going to have Baron Rivendare alive, and it's going to wipe out your Nerubian Egg, and now you have 2 4/4 minions. I think Kiggles fell asleep, by the way. So then we have cards like, what was it? The Druid card was Poison Seeds. It was 4 mana, destroys all minions, summons two treants to replace them all. I don't know how I feel about that card right now, but it's a good board wipe of sorts. Which, I think the druid kind of needs at this point. Avenge, which is the paladin one. It's when one of your minions dies, you give a friendly minion +3/+2. Seems interesting enough. It's a secret, so it seems interesting. And the warriors one, which I like the most, is it's a weapon. It's a 4/2 for 4 mana, and on death rattle, you deal 1 damage to all minions. So when the last charge of that weapon goes down, it deals 1 damage to everything.
Giggles, you still with us? I'm so sorry for getting him started on that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's very informative.
Are we done with Hearthstone?
Unfortunately, I don't.
No, we are not done with Hearthstone.
Okay, well, I'll go back to sleep then.
Why? Hearthstone is it's such a more in-depth game than Magic.
Anyway, I have a couple of quick announcements now that we're done with the news.
No, hold on. I was serious. We do have a little bit more news for Hearthstone.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
The upcoming adventure that they've announced, Naxxramas, which we were just talking about. There was a pricing structure leak that dropped, and we had talked. I think it was our first podcast. We discussed what prices were potentially going to be. Do you remember what you guys guesstimated for that?
No. Oh,
I said it was probably going to be somewhere around, huh?
I thought it was like thought I said like $5 or something. I don't even remember.
Yeah, that was kind of off base by a large margin. These prices are not narrowed down. They're not nailed down, I should say. They were leaked from some website in China. Whether they're 100% accurate or not, we don't know. But the Arachnid Quarter, which is the first quarter, which has 3 bosses in it, 4 new cards, it's going to be free. Right? We already knew the first wing was going to be free. The second wing, which is the Plague Wing, also has 3 bosses, 4 new cards. They're listing as 500 gold right now, which equates to $9. Okay. I placed it at about 500 gold. That's what my guess was. That seemed about fair, considering the arenas are, 150, whatever.
Right.
But here's the thing. I figured each tier, each wing was going to be about 500 gold. That's not the case. The Construct Quarter, which is 4 bosses, you get 6 new cards, is 1,000 gold, or $18.
Jesus.
Okay. The second wing, or the third wing, rather, or the fourth, I should say. Military Quarter, 3 bosses, 5 new cards, 1,500 gold.
I don't like this.
The final wing, Frostworm Lair, 2 bosses, 6 new cards, 2,000 gold, aka $36.
There needs to be some sort of bundle. That's all I'm going to say. It needs to be a bundle.
Yeah.
There really needs to be a bundle. 'Cause
So
that's
that's about $90 from start to finish if you were not to use gold for this.
Jeez.
It's actually is this really a full expansion? It's kind of a full. How many cards are they giving?
No,
you?
it's not an expansion.
Well, because
Not an expansion.
because I have dropped hundreds of dollars on a Magic expansion. So I don't see how $90 is. I don't know. I know people. I know online free to play game people are a little cheaper than that, but.
Right.
It's whatever.
Keep in mind, though, that the wings will be released week by week. They're not all available on the first day. So first week is only Arachnid Quarter. It's free. You can't get the other wings at that point. The next week is... So you do have some time to accumulate gold, especially if you start saving now.
Yeah, the other thing is you can get all this stuff for free. It's just going to take time.
Right.
Either this is what Blizzard is giving you the choice of. Either time and gold for free or money and now. That's basically the choice of most every free to play game is
Right.
do you have more time or money on your hands?
It's also possible that this was a
Dornasis,
mistake.
Dornasis in chat says, did Blizzard not come out and say that if you complete the first wing, the next wing would be cheaper? They have not stated officially. The website that launched all this, the Chinese website, they did say that completing or doing certain objectives within the wing would lower the cost of the price by 100 gold. But if that's the case, unless that scales, maybe only the first wing to the second wing is 100 gold. Instead of making it 500, it'll make it 400. But if that doesn't scale up with the rest of them, then only taking 100 gold off the Frostworm layer, which is 2,000 gold, is not going to equate to much.
It's possible, and it could be there's a mistake, like, first wing free, second wing is 500 gold, then the third wing comes out and it's like, oh, it's 1,000 gold, but that'll get you the first 2 wings. It's possible that they put the total cost and not, the cost of each individual wing, because that 2,000 gold for the last, it just sounds like way too much. I mean, I can understand them being 500 gold each, like you initially said, and that sounds fair. But
yeah, that was where I placed it at. I placed it as 500 with the requirement that you couldn't get it until you finished the other one. That was my impression, but maybe that's not going to be the case. Maybe you can purchase them in any sequence you want. Crone is saying in chat, but you get more than 25 cards with the Magic expansion, Kiggles. This one, the Nax adventure, we are getting 30 cards total. There's a set of 9 cards that you can get, or 8 cards that you get from completing class challenges or whatever. And yeah, you do get a single player kind of experience here, so it's a little bit more than just the cards, because these are replayable. You will be able to play them even after you finish them. So having a single player challenge is kind of cool for the game. It's something different that the other card games don't really have. And I don't know. It's quite a bit. It is a lot of money. But,
yeah, I wouldn't pay it, because as chat's saying, and I will echo Serene, at $90, most people will play something else. And Phaedrus, which I have an announcement about in a second, he says I could afford 2 games at that price. And yeah,
right.
I wouldn't pay the money for it. I would just do all in-game gold to get it.
Right. Now keep in mind, this is a quote-unquote leaked price point from China. Blizzard did comment on it. They said, we haven't announced anything regarding pricing yet. Once we have details to share, we'll discuss them on the official channels. We understand that a lot of people are excited for the release of Curse of Naxxramas. We are too. However, we haven't announced anything just yet regarding prices for the upcoming adventure. So keep it with a grain of salt. I'm sure it's not too far off from the truth, and it's probably something that they were toying around with at the time, but it's not finalized by any means.
Yes. So we'll know information when it's initially announced. Anyway, 2 announcements real quick. First announcement. Star Twister, a member of the Gamebreaker Nation, one of our fellow lovely gentlemen, he's going to be hosting an after-party event for this show. I believe the plan is to get on Horde side on the US server Terralion, which is where our guild is located. I believe the idea is to all roll undead and start kill gnomes. I don't know the full details, but that's what I've been told.
This sounds promising.
He's in chat. He says hi right now. So if you're here watching, you could find out some more information there. But it's going to happen right after the show ends. And it sounds hilarious.
Indeed.
I don't know. Our other small announcement is Gamebreaker Nation member and Horde officer. Is he Horde officer or Alliance officer? I don't know. Thadrus. It's his birthday. Say happy birthday.
Oh, it's his birthday. Yay!
What day is today? Today's
Happy
your
birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
What you said?
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
No.
Oh my god.
Happy birthday, Thadrus.
Happy birthday, Thages.
You're still one of the younger members.
Suck a dick.
He's still a robot he's a life model decoy.
Life model decoy.
The robot.
Oh.
Anyway, that is all the news I have for tonight, listed on my little lovely list here. We are out of callers and we are out of questions, so I think that might be a good note to end this lovely show on. Ooh. So,
last thoughts?
Final thoughts, gentlemen.
This was not as big of a mess as last week. Yay for show notes! Yay!
I know, right? Trying to find a button I have to press here. There we go. So, yeah, things. Anyway, Mr. Kiggles. He's getting ready. You can find him there at the Zach Schultz on Twitter. That's just, I'm sorry, that's where the frames fit.
He's a bat.
You can find this lovely gentleman at Zista_ on Twitter. He's just...
Oh, God. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, find me there. You could also find both me and Mike on ASO TV podcast on YouTube, where we do podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Mike will be covering Game of Thrones, and even Kiggles will be joining us very soon for a
Oh my God, are we doing the Big Bang Theory?
Big Bang Theory? Yes,
Oh,
Big Bang Theory
okay.
Post-season show.
I'm gonna need to.
coming up
I'm
soon.
gonna need to re-download and watch all of it.
Yes, to be announced. It will be happening. So if you want to see Kiggles rant about something, there you go.
That's
We'll make sure he's nice and liquored up for that one.
liquored up. You could
We'll
find
drink margaritas for that one.
You can find me at Philodrin on Twitter. You can also find me writing for heroeslive.com, heroes-live. And on the Heroes Live podcast, where we talk about nothing but Heroes of the Storm. I don't know what that was. It sounded like something broke. Like Dom said, Zista Mr. Ben there. You can find us on the ASO TV podcast. And all of us on Gamebreaker Nation on US Chiralian. We have both Alliance and Horde guilds. You're welcome to join us. We
Boo
are...
Alliance, boo!
Yeah, boo.
Sign up
Alliance.
on www.gamebreakernation.com.
What he said. Have a lovely night, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Boo!